The children of Donbas, they've seen blood and lived through bombing. They've seen their homes and schools destroyed. How do we heal these traumatized children? How do we teach them to think in new ways? Art That Heals, how artists, filmmakers, and volunteers are building a new Donbas. We started with 3 films that show the ways Ukrainians have been changing since Euromaidan. I think that these 3 phenomena can be observed in Ukraine today. The phenomenon of volunteerism, the volunteer movement, and the 3rd film, Where Our Home Is, about how Ukrainians are becoming citizens.
Ненависти нету, мести тоже нету. Есть правда. Вы стоите сейчас на этой земле, да? А кто-то приходит и хочет поработить, захватить. За что? Почему? За то, что мы добрая нация? За то, что мы всех принимаем? Только за это? То, что какой-то Путин пришел и забрал у нас Крым? Нет, так не будет.
This film is our gratitude and cinematic reply to the ones who defend and protect us. Many of them will be remembered forever. Donbas, East Ukraine, a complex and controversial topic to cover in the arts. For filmmaker Larysa Artiuhina, Donbas wasn't material for another film. Rather, it was a place that had already stolen her heart during the filming of Babylon 13, a documentary about the war in Ukraine. In fact, it was because of filmmaking that the volunteer organization New Donbas NGO was born.
Отец Небесный, я прошу Тебя о благодати для ребят, которые находятся сейчас в плену. Боже, я молю Тебя о том, чтобы Ты дал им мужество. Я молю Тебя о том, чтобы Ты дал им терпение. Я молю Тебя о том, чтобы Ты дал им долготерпение. И я молю Тебя о том, чтобы Ты дал им веру.
Абсолютно киношная история про новый Донбасс.
The story of New Donbas is very movie-like because the conception and creation of our organization was directly related to the war and to my work as a filmmaker. I'd been shooting the documentary, How We Became Volunteers, and because of this, I'd been going to the front, filming the volunteer battalion Donbas. I was once approached by volunteer Artem Butov, who asked me for a favor. This was quite unusual because volunteers never asked for anything. He said that he had a dream and asked me to help him make that dream come true. He only wanted for children in Mykolaiivka to be able to go to school. Unfortunately, the school had been destroyed. He grew up there and his mother worked there. He asked me directly, help me restore this school. And so volunteers set about restoring school number 3 in Mykolaiivka. Then came other schools in the Donbas and Luhansk frontline areas. Throughout all of this, Artiuhina emphasizes, their volunteer group, actors, writers, artists, musicians, playwrights, and psychologists, were starting dialogues with the children who attended these schools, talking to them instead of the adults because they were more open. Our philosophy is such. We believe that building a new Ukraine will be possible only after building a new Donbas. And for this to happen, we must first talk to children. Because only through the children can we reach the hearts of their parents. And this is how our volunteer movement was born. When we started restoring schools, as a filmmaker, my desire was to film this. We had several operators who filmed the school restoration process. It was completely volunteer work. And so from this, we made the film Bogdan's Happiness. According to Artiuhina, any expression of culture and art provides an opportunity to meet, to listen to each other, and to find common ground for creativity. This can bring out the best qualities in children and, most importantly, return them to peaceful life. Culture and art create, says Artiuhina, safe spaces for open expression. These therapeutic environments can bring out the best qualities in children and, most importantly, help them return to normal lives. Kristina Lubchenko created a children's studio and filmed movies with children. And Alina Makarenko taught children how to dance hip-hop. We had journalism and painting circles. There were many people from arts and culture, and they taught the children what they could while restoring the school in the Donetsk region. And in 2015, we went to the Luhansk region. There, we helped restore 3 schools, one in Nizhno Teple, Platina, and Kondrashkivska. The volunteer artists focus on helping frontline residents in 2 areas, cultural and humanitarian. They found that this combination is most effective. The films prove that dialogue along these lines is possible under any conditions. We found a protagonist, Bogdan. The boy is 7 years old. He watched us very closely, and then we became friends. Then he became the centerpiece of the story, how he found out what war is, how he survived it, how the volunteers came, and who those volunteers were. And so eventually, friendship grew between us, and love. The average Ukrainian, indeed the average person, isn't really consciously aware of the situation in eastern Ukraine. For this reason, Artiuhina and her team create movies that adults and children from all over Ukraine can relate to. But simply watching a film is not enough. We have many screenings around the world, in Europe, in the US, but we do not just show the movie. A movie for us is something very emotional. A reason to talk, to have a discussion between the audience and the authors. Moreover, with audiences with different perspectives and from different continents, we strive to ensure that the screenings are simultaneous. For example, somewhere in Luhansk or with IDPs, internally displaced persons. We had such an experience in Washington. We discussed Bogdan's happiness with the audience after presenting the movie. Dialogue with people who have different views and approaches and who are from different countries are very important to us. Bogdan's happiness shows the tragic fate of many Eastern Ukrainians and emphasizes that the war is not over. It allows us to be more humane, to understand the depth of the pain of others, says the director. It's no wonder that Ukrainian school history teachers want to screen Bogdan's happiness with their students. And we will discuss it with children. We will do teleconferences with Ukrainian cities, towns, and villages for people to see and hear each other and find a common language. I was recently in Bielotserkov, school number 15, and presented Bogdan's happiness. I talked with children there. I asked them, what should I say to Bogdan? You've watched the movie, throughout which Bogdan wants to get a Ukrainian flag. At the end of the film, we give him the flag. So what should I tell him? How do you understand what Bogdan's happiness is? And the kids told me, tell Bogdan to always be so strong in spirit and to be happy, because he is a true patriot. Can help heal mental trauma. With this in mind, Artiuhina and fellow filmmakers began an initiative to allow children to make their own movies. I will tell you about our wonderful project, the Peace Summer Cinema Camp, together with its partner, the Yellow Bus. We made a movie holiday, chose children from Marienka, Krasnohorivka, Stanция Luhanska, and Mykolaiivka, who were interested in movies. We took them to the sea in the Odessa region in summer. For 2 weeks, we taught them how to make a movie, and then made a movie with them. Of course, we helped them, and there was the best equipment and the best operator. They worked day and night.
Самый лучший оператор. Но работали по-настоящему днем и ночью. Вот она. Вот это дети наши сняли в кинолагере. Ну, чуть-чуть покажу, похвастаюсь.
Барсук Продакшн представляет.
Мальчик-переселенец с Луганска тоже.
Жила в Луганске 14 лет, и до начала военных действий я, моя мама и младшая сестра, мы выехали из Луганска.
Хорошая такая девочка, смышленая.
Oh, our children filmed this at the movie camp. This boy is an IDP from Luhansk. Oh, she is a good, smart girl. What can I say? Our children are great, especially those who have experienced war. They are very kind, they are different, and they have become more adult. Before letting them get to work, the young creators attended lectures and master classes led by renowned filmmakers. These girls are young directors. They were my art directors. We agreed that every team would have an art director. The children wrote the scenes, practiced roles, filmed, and edited. They chose their own roles: scriptwriter, cameraman, director, actor, sound engineer. Movies were filmed and edited using professional equipment, even a drone for aerial shots. The adults watched, only helping occasionally. The result, a short film about the dreams of a blue bird, turned out to be truly impressive, worthy of public attention. They managed to make 4 great movies, and it was such a brilliant experience, because at that time they were still learning about peacekeeping in the master classes. It was rather difficult for the children, but they did great. They told us, let's do something together instead of sympathizing with us. The children missed the camaraderie, especially the IDPs. Like all children of war, they are desperate for peace. Artiuhina believes that adults shouldn't shy away from talking to children about the reality in which they live, a world torn by war.
То, что мы увидели в лагере, в кинолагере, это желание и потребность детей разобраться и говорить об этом конфликте.
What we saw in the movie camp is the desire of children to understand and talk about the conflict. When Julia Harashvili came from Tbilisi, and she is an expert on peacekeeping operations and created peace camps with Abkhaz and Georgian children, she told them that such was the reality there and that they had been living in conflict for 20 years. That influenced our children quite a lot. They had suddenly lost the pathos of tragedy and realized that they were not the only ones. Unfortunately, it happens, but this situation is not a dead end. There are other children in the world who are experiencing the same, and exit strategies for conflicts were very high in demand. But most importantly, says Artiuhina, the children didn't just learn the secrets of cinematography. They understood something much more important, that there's no difference between East and West Ukraine. Regional divisiveness was a myth, which gradually disappeared as their friendships grew.
Очень важно через кино для нас, через кино устанавливать вот эти эту прямую связь.
It was very important for us to establish a direct connection from heart to heart, from eye to eye. So the support for documentaries, their distribution and communicating with the audience is the work done by Ukrainian civil society, which must be supported as much as possible.
Дом – это семья, там, где меня ждут.